Hi, welcome to So Sensible again. And today we're going to learn about making a snack bag and a sandwich wrap. This is a great way to save money on buying Ziploc bags, and it's also a great way to save the environment and reduce waste. Another fun thing is you get a personalized thing that you can show all your friends, and I'm going to teach you how to do that today. So the first thing you need to do is get a 13-inch square of paper that you can get from a paper bag. You just cut it open, lay it flat, measure out what you want. I use the rotary board to do that, to get the precise measurement of getting 13 inches. I actually did 13 and a half, but just if you don't have a rotary board, it'd be easier to just do 13. What you do then, it's kind of like origami, where you're going to fold it diagonally, and then you're going to fold it diagonally again. And what we're doing is we're finding a center line. So you'll see that there's a point in every corner. And what you want to do is you want to flip it over and you want to measure 2 inches in, and then you just make a little dot right there, and then you flip it back over and you fold it meeting up with this line, and you push it down right where the dot is. So I've already done this. I would just then take this, and I know that that's my pattern. So you do that, you cut all the sides. One of the tricky things is then you need to put the Velcro on. So then you're going to fold it in half now. Doesn't matter which way, because it should be equal. And then you're going to measure 2 inches up. You're going to make a 2-inch box, and you can actually just cut 2 inches of Velcro and then just trace around it, because that's what you're going to be sewing there, is the Velcro. And you want to sew this on first. So you're going to actually sew this onto the fabric before you get doing anything. So it's this, I use utility fabric with this. I suggest you do that first. I really like the printed fabric, so I figured out a way to use regular cotton because it comes in a wider variety of stuff. The first thing you want to do, because this is your outer layer, this is where your Velcro is going to be, you're going to sew this on. And one easy way to do it is to just put that down there like this and then fold it up, and know that's where you're going to start it. And then check it, make sure it's lined up, and then you pin it. You're going to take it to the machine and you're going to zigzag stitch around it. How's it going, Tiffany? This is Tiffany, by the way.
Hi.
She's my assistant. So Tiffany hasn't sewn since high school, so she doesn't know much about it. What's great about the projects I do is I like to do projects that are really simple in general for my own fun. I don't want something really complicated. So I think you could do this, Tiffany. So I guess I'll do a straight stitch. And then, of course, my shoes are off so that I can feel the pedal. I always keep my needle down so that if I were to move away, the fabric would stay in place where the stitching is. Back stitch, lock it in place, and you've got your Velcro attached. Pretty simple. We just sewed a rectangle on there, cut all the loose threads off. Then I have an inside layer that is going to go on the inside of the sandwich wrap. This is how you're able to bulk it up so that it matches right. Now, what you didn't see is I also cut a piece of clear plastic, and then you put it over. And then you're just going to pin it, and make sure you leave this paper on, because I have done it without paper before, and it's like pushing a car through like a mud puddle. I don't know. So it's like you can't get it. It sticks to the machine. And you only want to pin on the edges, because if you were to pin around here, you'd put holes in your vinyl. So that's the one tricky thing about working with vinyl, is that it doesn't forgive. So if you poke a hole through that, that hole will be there until the end of time. And then you just, so you feel where your Velcro is. It's right here. So I want to start sewing over here, and you'll find out why. Now I'm going to let you sew a little bit of this because this is the easy stuff. Let me start it for you.
Okay.
So the first thing I do is put the needle down. And now I'm getting to the corner, and I'm just going to go pick this up.
And then turn.
And turn it. Pretty simple, right?
Yep.
Sometimes if you're worried, if you can stop and check to make sure you caught all 3 layers of fabric. There you go. And take over. See the pedal?
Yep.
Just like driving a car, except for you're gonna go slow. Are you one of those fast drivers? I mean, you just go the speed limit. I'm a slow driver. I go 10 under.
It depends where I am.
I guess so. So you just go ahead and put your foot down slowly. You can feel how hard you're pushing it. And it'll feed itself right through the machine. And you can actually hold it right here to give yourself a little, there you go. Look at that. So easy, huh?
It is.
It's so sensible. So remember to pivot.
Lift.
Yep, pull the pin too so that it's out of your way.
Right here.
Sometimes in corners it gets caught and you have to just pull it through, or it will make a mess underneath the thread. So just stop it right here, okay? Just enough, and then I'm going to show you how to back stitch too.
Right there,
And
good?
then, yep, and press this when you're pushing the pedal. Hold it down. There you go. And then stop. That's good. Just a little bit, just so that it locks it in place. And then you just lift this up, take the needle out, and you pull it out, and there's actually a little cutting thing on my fancy machine here. So then what you do afterwards, while you can see the stitches really easily, is you just cut it like this, just so that it's nice and clean. That's why I said it didn't matter if the edges don't match, because we're going to watch the stitching. So why don't you go ahead and just cut it like that. Not too close, because if you snip the stitch, then we have to do it all over again.
We don't want that.
No, that's no fun. Because this is kind of a border on the other side. So it's nice to have a little edging, you know, a little extra, because then it's like framing. This is when we take the paper off, because you gotta. So just take it off. And if you get it right by the seam, it's way easier, because then it's just comes off real easy. And this is when you make sure you get all the pieces of paper and you give it a little check to make sure. I mean, you have pets? You have pets, right? This is when I check to make sure there's no animal hair. Because that stuff is like magnetic. It just sticks to everything. Okay. So now you could clip the corners if you want to. Some people do that. So then you just take the inside and you just grab it, pull it out. This is like, what, like laundry, like pillowcases, flip them inside out, right? And then you're just gonna finger press all the points out. Want to try some finger pressing?
Sure.
Sure. Because you're going to go home and make one of these. This is where you're going to put the other Velcro. So this is rough, so we know the next one's going to be soft. Now, you're going to have it hanging, you're going to have it like this. So the soft stuff is going to be towards the sandwich side, okay? And the way I remember this is I actually have Velcro put on my cupboards in my kitchen so I can hang these up to dry afterwards. So that's how I remember which way the Velcro goes. And we're going to sew this shut, and when we sew this, we're going to catch this Velcro in there. So I'm going to pin it in place. Here's our little trusty pattern that we just made. Oh, I forgot to say that when you do this Velcro pattern, it's just the center. So you just make sure it's in the center. And I can put this pattern on my Facebook page, So Sensible, and you can all go download it or something, however you do that. All right, then you just take it over to your machine, and first you're gonna catch that Velcro in there, and just to get it over with. Now the only trick about this is now we're going without tissue paper, but there's really not much we can do about that. It's something that's going to have to happen.
There's certain needles used for certain projects.
Yes, this is, you would use a upholstery needle for this because that's what we're kind of doing. We're doing difficult stuff here. But you can feel it catching every time I pull in there. And the only thing you want to make sure to keep is to keep kind of pushing that vinyl aside, because you don't want the you don't want the vinyl to kind of be hanging over on the other side. Okay. You can't really mess this up though, because you're just sewing it to make it pretty. You don't even need to do the stitch. Like if you're getting really annoyed and you're just like, I can't handle it, just don't do it. It's better to have a finished product than to be so frustrated that you never walk back to the machine, right?
Yep. And that's it. You have a sandwich wrap. And let's pretend this is a sandwich, an appetizing one. You were to just roll it like this, and then roll it like this, and there you have it. That's your sandwich wrap. Pretty simple, and I find that this works great with snacks too, but I'm also going to show you how to make a snack bag, which is even cuter, I think. So now for this one, I didn't really do a pattern per se. I just do it by look. So I just take the rectangle and I fold it up, and I thought, that looks like a snack bag. Here's a flap to keep it shut. So when I did that, it came out to be 11 by 7. So you cut the clear, keeping the paper. As you see, the paper ripped off of here, and I taped it back on because you need that paper desperately. And then cut the red one because that's your lining. I love this fabric. Now, what am I forgetting about? My Velcro. Right? Here's my pattern. It's not made. Now is the Velcro the same size?
So
on
you
the
just
snack then as the sandwich?
It's, yeah, 2 inches is good. Did you have, oh, here's the other one. Ha, look at that.
It's in with garbage.
Cool, there we go. And then we'll do this little game where we see where we want it to go. So, I don't know, is that camera on this one? So I just folded it like how I would want the pouch to be. Honestly, I think that this, don't you think that's kind of wide? Maybe I could make it narrow. Is that good, do you think? What do you think?
That's
Too
good.
wide? Good? Okay. So then I would just, this would be my template. All right, then we start assembling it. Like this. So we're putting like this. And just like before, we have the inside, the outside with the Velcro, and this clear part. And just like before, we're going to do the edges only, oops, because it doesn't forgive. If you were going to make one of these, I'd make one of these first. It's just a rectangle. Velcro is the tricky part, but you can do that. Are we having fun?
Yes, we are.
Now, you see, you did go a little bit over here. That's really not going to matter because that's the flap.
Okay.
So it should be fine. It's weird. Oh, it's taped. It's all fun and games until you hit the tape part. What's great is that even if you pull up these stitches here, you're going to end up reinforcing the stitches as soon as you bring it back to the machine anyways.
Okay.
So let's say I were to pop that stitch because it got awfully close. It doesn't matter because I'm going to fix it. And then we are going to clip the corners on this one because this is a straight up square. Well, rectangle, you know what I mean. Don't cut too close because I've actually pulled it in a couple times. So
Okay.
always be careful of that. And then you just clean up these edges. So now it's all cleaned up and pretty. So we're gonna flip it inside out. And I'd rather just seam rip it and then try to muscle my
Hand in there.
hand in there and flip it inside out. And I could rip the plastic. You know, like if you were to pull on this really hard, it will rip a line of the vinyl. So I'd rather just seam rip it. And then you just reach in. Yeah, that is snug, isn't it? And you pull it out. Just like a pillowcase. The important thing is to do corners because you can meddle around with it and get the seams to go flat, but corners are a nightmare to do on the other side. That's what you're going for. And this is where you would... I do need that Velcro. So Velcro would be here. And this one's a bit easier because you can't really fudge it up. Because the way we did the Velcro on the other side, you know, if you were to put this over here, it would still hit the Velcro. So you're golden. We just bring it to the machine. Now we're just doing it just like we did before. But then at a certain point, we're going to go like this. So we're at that point now. I think I missed my point actually. So we can just go back. You don't even have to fix it. You don't have to go backwards. And you just take it out. Yeah, my machine doesn't like me right now. She's like, what are you putting me through? See, I just folded it up. This side's still... this side's still open. I just sewed the one side shut. So now we're going to go back and we're going to finish by starting on this side to sew it. So when you do this at home, you're going to use tissue paper on the vinyl when you're doing this part. Then it will be so much better and you won't stick. And you could just take that scrap that you ripped off, put it where the stitch is, and just sew through it.
Okay.
Look how easy sewing can be. So many people tell me that they can't sew, and I say, what kind of machine are you using? And then I say, that's the problem. Drop and bobbin is the way to go. If you have to if you want a sewing machine that isn't going to make you cry, get a drop and bobbin. Some people know how to use a bobbin. I don't. So I love my machine. There you go.
Thank you.
Yay! We have the snack bag, little pouch. Stick some snacks in there. You're good to go. They're so cute. I guess you could finish this seam too if you wanted to jazz it up a little bit. But I think it works just fine like that. And then you have some reusable lunch things for yourself, your friends, your kids, whatever. And it's pretty easy. So sensible. It's so sensible.
It is.
And thank you so much, Tiffany, for coming and learning about sewing with me today. And we'll catch you next time.